Hi, let's talk about the present continuous tense and start with the form. To form it, we take the subject followed by the verb to be and not if it's negative, and then the verb in the ing form. There are a lot of spelling rules to form the verb in the ing form, and there's a separate video on that if you need it. For example, I'm talking about grammar. I'm not watching TV. He is eating a snack. She isn't listening to music. You are watching this video. You aren't having a bath. At least, if you are, don't drop your phone in the bath. Now, look at this bit. I'm not. I and am are contracted to form I'm. But if we look here, she isn't, you aren't. We don't say she's not, although we actually can, or you're not, which we also can. But usually we tend to say she isn't, you aren't. We contract the verb and not. But with I, we can't contract the verb with not. We can't say I amn't. It's very difficult to say, and we never use that. Whereas with the other forms, you can say she isn't or she's not. You aren't or you're not. Either is fine. To form the question, we use the verb to be, then the subject, and then the verb in the ing form. For example, are you learning English? Moving on to the uses, there are quite a few different uses for the present continuous tense. The most common one is an action that is in progress now. Another use is a temporary action in the current time period. For example, something that's happening this week or for the next 10 days. It doesn't normally happen. It's only temporary. A regular but annoying action, future intentions, future predictions that are based on evidence, not opinion, and future arrangements. There are some examples. They're all mixed up though. Let's see if we can match the use to the example. So an action that is in progress now, we're going to the park. Do you want to come? So we are on our way to the park now. A temporary action, workmen are digging up our road at the moment. So perhaps it's for a few days while they fix something, but it's temporary. And it might not even be happening at this very minute. They might be taking a break, or it might be evening and they're finished for the day. But it's a temporary action in this current time period. So these few days. A regular but annoying action is always playing video games. We don't like that he's always playing video games. Future intentions. I'm going to watch TV this evening. That's what I've decided that I want to do. Future predictions, so something we think is going to happen. It's going to rain tomorrow. And we think this is true because perhaps we saw the weather forecast. Perhaps we read it in the newspaper or online, or we heard it on the radio. And future arrangements. I'm meeting my sister next week. We already know when and where to meet. We have already decided. Those are the uses. Let's look at some common mistakes that people often make when they're learning English. Look at this sentence. I am listening to the radio when I'm going to work. should be I listen to the radio when I go to work. It's a regular action. We use the present simple to talk about regular actions, states and habits. So we don't use the present continuous to talk about this regular action. I'm loving your new haircut. It's a common mistake that even native speakers actually make with this one. We can't say I'm loving your new haircut. We say I love your new haircut. Love is a state verb, and we can't use state verbs in the continuous form. So state verbs are ones like, love, hate, understand, believe, want. And it is a mistake to use them in the continuous form because you either love something or you don't. You can't be in the process. And if you're in the process, you would use a different verb like fall in love. He is falling in love. But love itself, you either do or you don't. You either like something or you don't like something. You don't say I'm liking it or I'm understanding it. You either understand or you don't. There's no process. Let's talk about state verbs a little bit more. Some verbs can actually be both state verbs or action verbs, and it depends on the context. For example, I have lunch at 12 o'clock. I have a blue pen. So these are two different uses of the verb have. This first one is a regular action, whereas the second one, it's not an action, it is a state. I have a pen. So if we look at these two continuous forms, I'm having a blue pen today, I'm having lunch today. We can't say this first one. You can't be in the process of having a blue pen today. You either have it or you don't. Whereas I'm having lunch today, you can be in the process. Perhaps if you're saying this in the morning, perhaps it's your plan for later that day. I hope that's helped you. Thank you for watching.